Seems like they had fun at the polls last night. Well, congratulations, Western Australia. If you did vote and vote for these political parties, welcome to the fact you voted in the unknown to our Constitution. Doesn't even exist. It's called the state, created under the Acts Amendment Repeals Court and Legal Practice Act. It's a fraud on you and the people. Doesn't matter who you vote for. They're all frauds. Do you realise there's 1.89 million registered voters in this state? And out of the 2.9 million people in the state, roughly, how come there weren't enough papers for people to vote? Why didn't they calculate that and do it? Was it deliberate or was it not? These are questions you need to ask in your mind. However, you need to look at Chapter 1 of the Constitution. First, I'll refer to the state constitution and the state. The states are created under 107, 108 and 109 and draw their authority referentially from the Commonwealth Constitution. So when there's no method of voting in the state constitutions, it must be in the federal constitution and you must comply. Fact. 106 requires that the state constitutions continue subject to the Commonwealth Constitution. Did they? No. Western Australia removed theirs and put a junk one in. What was removed? One of the main things removed were the electoral boundaries. And they replaced it with local government in 1979. They said they had the authority to remove it all. Why did they? Why did you even refer to it? They were letters patent. You couldn't touch them. The law says. But who cares about the law according to you? Dodgy Roger and Mark McGowan, two idiots, bragging about what they're going to do and making out they were doing the right thing. You never have. Right thing for your political parties, probably, for your unlawful entity known as the state, your socialist dictatorship that you created in this state. You've removed the electoral boundaries. Well, Clause 8 said you couldn't have them. After a proclamation of the Constitution, how did you have to remove them? How did you have to remove them after that? They shouldn't just leave them there unused. Why did you remove them? Because you wanted to put something else in their place. So you did that with number 88 in 1979, which is when you added local government. If you already had the authority, why'd you have to add it to the state constitutions? You did it in every state. I'm harping on the same old problems because you've got a bigger problem, and we, the people, created it, quite a few of us. And you're going to have to answer this one. I'll come to that in a minute because we had fun and you didn't realise what we were doing. You were too dumb to look and understand. Australia is run by money-hungry, corrupt puppets. Muppets would be more like it. You can't keep up this nonsense longer. People are going to give up their firearms and they've never done anything wrong. There's no reason to suspect they will, except that you yellow-bellied, gutless, spineless maggots I suspect that somebody's going to pick up a gun and shoot you. Why would you do that? What are you doing wrong to even think that way? Look at that. You're breathing oxygen for one thing, but let's get to the chase. Chapter 1 of the Constitution says the governors of the state shall select a large pool of people and you vote, according to Section 8 of the Constitution, for one person once. For the lower house, one person once. Section 30. It's simple. Why have we got all this preferential voting? Who said you could? Where in the Constitution does it say you can? Doesn't. Where does it say it can interfere with a letters patent? It doesn't. Why did you? Because you're traitors, liars and frauds. And you know it. Doesn't matter what is put to you, you just ignore it because you think you can. You think you're going to get away with it. No, you're not. You see, now Cook and McGowan and all you donkeys for all the political parties, when you walk down the road, you've got to look over your shoulder. Because sooner or later someone's going to get browned off enough to just aim their car, put their foot down and do something stupid, or shoot you or stab you or do something else, and you think, oh, you can't do that because we said. Well, you saying doesn't control people. Not allowed to carry knives. I get that. I get the reasons. I get you can't carry guns. I get all those reasons. I've had to work with that and a result of that. And I can see the benefits in what you're saying. But in countries like Switzerland, where they all carry guns and fully trained, they don't break into houses. Their politicians behave themselves and the people behave themselves. So why would you disrupt that kind of thinking? It's proven to work. What happened when you removed the death penalty here? More deaths, murders, several of them. Instead of one every 1 to 2 years, we're having one up to 10 or 15 a year, and it's increased hugely now. Why? Because there's no deterrent. Oh, it's not a deterrent. You know, you can't look at that and you play the same stupid old movie where somebody was framed. Well, do something about the people that frame it. Look how many men get accused of fiddling with the kids and never do. What do you do to the women? Nothing. You go to your family court, they lie, you get nothing. The women go there and they lie, nothing happens. The welfare go to court, as recently I've found, and a whole lot of them lied. And they're still lying. And disobeyed the court, what happened? Nothing. Refused to file documents, there's still no documents after 6 months and you got the kids. Why? Because you're all filthy lying traitors, all of you. You think you're above the law, but you're not. You see, there is a recourse. I asked people to do a letter. This is the letter. I, Wayne Kenneth of the family Glew, attended at your polling booth to vote on the 8th of March 2025. There were no lawful candidates available for me to vote for at your polling booth. Why not? That, as I explained to the lady, the letter is a question of law. Why not? Where were the lawful candidates? First of all those people out there, I said they're not lawful candidates. No governor selected a pool of people and we select one from any of them. Who were they? Selected by political parties. Where in the Constitution does it say you can have a political party? Oh, I know it doesn't have to say. Ann Toomey will tell you the Green Book and the Red Book are the same. That's all lies. Let's get to the truth. Chapter 3, Section 76, page 795, the fourth paragraph of our Constitution says, you exercise any authority throughout the Commonwealth, you're going to be able to show where in the Constitution that authority comes from. Clear, precise, you have to do it. So, Dodgy Roger, now you're back in the hot seat where you belong, but you need a few wires hooked to it, but we're not going to go down that road. You need to now to explain why you didn't have enough voting papers, why you are not going to redo this election just out of fairness alone, why you are not telling the truth, why the governor of the state, if you call him that, because he's not really, he's just a traitor and a liar and a fraud like the rest of you. Is he? Yes. He was the minister for vaccinations. All the people that die under his watch, he's guilty of their murder. Why? Because the law says. I'm still revealing criminal issues. That's what the letter's about. You didn't have any lawful candidates. Why not? You're going to send me a fine for not voting? Why don't you try it? I went there to vote, but I couldn't. There wasn't any lawful candidates. How are you going to explain that? You don't have to. Yes, you do. And you'll find out why if you try to find me. Then the state won't get a chance to withdraw it, and it goes straight into federal jurisdiction against you and the whole lot of you, because you're nothing but criminals. What you can't see is the people are waking up. They know who you are. They know what lies you're taking. You can put up rules that laws cannot respectively criminalise action that were lawful at the time they were committed. And why would you put something like that? I don't know. But anyway, who put that up there? Bushy Anderson. Paljukovic versus the Commonwealth. You can't. Yeah, all right. I get that. Anyway, I'm not interested. I'm talking about fraudulent voting and the lies that go with it. It's time people woke up. You've just been lied to. You've gone through a purported election with no lawful candidates. Not one. Doesn't matter who won. It didn't matter if it was Liberal, Labor, Greens, whatever won, or they all won particular seats. I've put these things through another person. Two candidates for the Liberal Party. What did they do? No. We can do what we like when we get into Parliament. No, you can't. There's a set of rules. Page 346 of our Constitution says not all enactments of a Parliament are valid. Only those made pursuant to, in accordance with, and under the authority granted by the Constitution, and those laws only are binding on the courts, judges and people of every state. All others are void. Do you understand what that means? It means if there's no authority granted, it's denied, and anything you pass that isn't granted isn't law. And how do you deal with that? Oh, well, if you don't do this, we'll fine you. You don't do that, we'll take your licence off you. We don't even actually need a driver's licence. We need to prove competency, and we can do that. We don't need to pay ridiculous amounts of money for licence. And look at that, Dodgy Roger. Before the election, you put it up, the licence up. I bought a car 6 or 7 months ago. Nice car. Was 800 and something a year to licence. It's now over $1,000 to licence. What extra am I getting for that money? You're trying to tell me you got the right to tax that. No, you don't. You don't. You can't. Licences are to do with the public service. A record of who owns what vehicle. Nothing more. I agree with that. Should you have plates on it? Yes. Only to identify who actually owns the vehicle. Not so you can tax this every year. You put insurance on, there's tax on insurance. Why? Oh, it's a service. No, it's not. It's something that's there to protect the other person if you have an accident, or the injured person in an accident. Third-party insurance. So why do we have to pay tax on that? Because you were thieves. And you need more money to fill up your pocket when you get your pension. Well, why are you getting a pension? Why have we still got an opposition to the Parliament if we voted for you? Why, if they're such reliable people, do we have an opposition? To keep them honest? Oh, come on. You're not that thick that you'll believe garbage like that. Or will you? You see, we're getting one more chance. Albus Leasy and his morons, your counterparts, Roger Cook, the same letter applies to them. Where are the people? Where are the lawful candidates? No matter what you say, they're not lawful. The governors of the states must select a pool of people for the federal election. You can vote one person once for the Senate, one person once for the House of Representatives. And they represent the whole state, just like the people who voted in yesterday. They don't represent little areas because on the proclamation of the Constitution, or when the colonies become states, the Boundaries Act no longer applied. But you put paid to that. You remove that out of the state constitution. And the police, according to their oath, that oath comes out of the Police Act, 1893, actually 1892, which ceased to exist on the proclamation of the Constitution. So what act could exist? Not that. Transfer of Land Act couldn't exist. Do you have authority over land? No, but you've stolen everyone's land. We repeated a video from Victoria where the lady explains to an English reporter the rip-off of people's property here, where we owned our estates in fee simple, owned them. We no longer do. And what have anybody said? The morons go out daily and buy houses on mortgages. They buy them? No, they don't. They sign up to a lease. Every single real estate company and real estate business is committing fraud on you and treason on this country. They're advertising property for sale and you're buying it. No, you're not. You're signing up to lease it. Go read their document. It says you only lease it now. You don't own it. The Crown still does. Which Crown? The Crown of England, which is God, the monarch being our monarch, not the Queen of our country. She's a monarch. She's our queen because we're her subjects, or his subjects if he's a king. Not King of Australia, not Queen of Australia, that's all lies. Royal Styles and Titles Act, treason. Unidroit Treaty of Rome, treason. The 300 Acts put in by Whitlam, all treason and fraud. When are you people going to realise you're selling out everything you got so your kids end up with nothing? You end up with nothing because you're too stupid to realise a bottle of beer or plonk or some other crap, go to the football and all the sports, sit around doing nothing. All that is what you're getting, and you're paying all your money, working your guts out all your life. At the end of your life, along comes the Mark McGowans and Dodgy Roger Cooks and all the rest of them from all the other political parties, and they all are complacent and they join in with the rest of them simply because they've said and done nothing. They've taken every single thing you own, and you're too stupid to see it. You sit there. I had a brother-in-law and he said, "Oh, you've upset my wife because you said they've taken the property." Yes, that's when they took it. Is it reality? Now it is. They had done it then and concealed it, but they took everything. So what are you left with? Nothing. You are paying most of your life, every cent you can scrape up to pay off your property, and then you don't own it. You don't own it. But if the council takes it off you, they own it in fee simple and you can't get it back. The Chinese have just bought a heap of land in the middle of Adelaide in fee simple, alienated from the Crown. They own the land, we can't. And this is our country. Or is it? Or is it? You liars and traitors, and this is coming, you are going to stand trial. I promise you this. I will see the day when you are dealt with according to law for what you've done. And you'll lose everything you got. Your family will as well, because that's the penalties for treason. And you'll lose a lot. Now, you can wallow in the swill and all the, "Oh, we won this 12 hours ago," you admitted or stated you had won the election, Dodgy Roger. And Messam said, "Oh, yeah, I concede." How do you concede when you already, last week, said the postal votes won't be counted until the middle of this coming week? So how did you get the figures that you're relying on? The figures don't add up at all. But you're saying, "Oh, you already conceded." How can you concede that something can't? You cannot even tell the truth for 5 minutes. But you conceded last night, 12 or 14 hours ago, that you'd lost. And Dodgy Roger conceded he won. Based on what? The votes aren't all counted? How do you know all the postal votes, which is a huge amount of people, don't swing it the other way and you're all lost? And you don't even exist. You pre-planned it. There's no other way to look at it. If you can't see that, you people, you're mad. But one thing, try finding me. See you in court. Not in the state courts, you won't get a chance. So the lying maggots there won't get a chance to do anything. You are going to the federal court. And you will go to a trial by jury because it deals serious issues with the Constitution. It's a voir dire, which is a point of law, which has to be produced and dealt with prior to anything else going any further. You want to try me on? Do it. I know how to do it, and I will do it, and you will stand trial. That's why the idiots in your state solicitor's office, it should be Crown Law of Western Australia, till you changed it all, they withdrew their alleged charge against me, which wasn't even a charge. They hadn't even put the papers in. There was no indictment, there was nothing. So I was on bail for what? Nearly 18 months for nothing? And you call that justice your style? I call it treason and fraud. But that's okay, because one day I'll deal with you under the laws of tort. And you'll pay back 4 times the penalty and double the cost, which is what tort's about. And it's going on you clowns that are in power. And you've been there 12 years according to you, third term. You've been there all along because Liberal, Labor, National Greens, you're all in bed together. They call it ought to call you the four amigos. So who's sleeping with who? The whole lot of yous? No, sorry, Mark McGowan was sleeping with his secretary. It's different. Is it? What about his wife and kids? Isn't that nice? Lovely people. So you have a nice day. Ponder on that. I think it's wonderful you won an election and you voted in nothing because nothing's lawful. So have a nice day. You're going to pay. I promise you that.